I got my balls to my butthole, yeah. Oh my God, what did I do? I can't take a dump, cause now my balls are blocking up my butthole. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you. Good God, I pulled too hard, now my scrotum's stretched out like a fucking yard. Oh God, I do my balls to my butthole again.
All right.
Oh my God, what did I do? I can't
Welcome
take a dump, 'cause
back.
now my balls are
God, what a good
blocking up
song.
my butthole.
What a good song that is. What a great song. I glued my balls to my butthole. Welcome back to Burn Pile. I I wanted to do a different song. It'd be cool to do a different song every week. I probably can't though, but that fucking Martina McBride with my karaoke this one's for the goys. Spotify took that down. They said that was copyrighted music. My clear parody of of this one's for the girls. That's a little ridiculous, isn't it? But I glued my balls to my butthole. I mean, that's what year did that come out? 2024 or something? It's got to be like 2 or 3 years old. That classic there. I had a feeling most of the people who listen to this podcast have probably heard that one before. But maybe not. Maybe I got to introduce it to you. That would be nice. It's you could say, well, now you're just doing random songs. It's not as fun. That's not true because America is in a bit of glued its balls to its butthole situation right now. In that we're doing things that are completely inexplicable and making it so we can't even take a shit anymore. I mean, it's crazy what's going on here. As of this recording, which I guess I'm just recording this just like an hour before it goes up. So, but Trump said open the Strait of Hormuz in 48 hours, or I'm going to blow up your energy plants or something. It's very like Joker-esque, right? It's like Dark Knight Joker kind of. It's like, remember when he's like, or I blow up a hospital. It would be better if he was just blowing up. Just if you're doing Israel, just do full Israel. Just say you're blowing up the children's hospitals. Just go after. I mean, we already got the girls' school. Just go whole hog, go for everything. But blowing up the I don't know, blowing up the energy infrastructure, and then Iran already said if they do that, they're going to blow up the like the UAE's like desalination plants. And then what? What happens then? I mean, it really is like gluing your balls to your butthole. It's like, what? How did we even get into this situation? How's it possible? How could things be this bad? Well, I'm sure it'll all be fine. I'm sure it'll all be fine. It'll work out somehow. What, were you trying to live forever? Really? I did want to see the I'm a little bit like, I don't know, I'm revealing my immaturity here a little. I mean, I did kind of want to see the end of liberal democratic capitalism. I don't know if I was expecting to see it like this year, like the global world order. I wasn't expecting it to end like, you know, before the fall. That does kind of it. There is a trajectory where things could get like really, really weird and bad. Um, I guess. I mean, I hope not. I hope it'll all be okay. Why don't I start us off with not Iran, but with a classic, sort of a classic kind of what's become an archetypal story, the kind that I cover on this show. I guess I think the New York Post just likes reporting these. I think that it's just a big hit for them, so they do it every time. But I've got another female teacher sleeping with teenage students one. So let's just, just a little like, you know, just like a slow pitch down the middle, just like a little lob across the plate here. We're just warming up, getting started. Here we go. Ohio teacher 28 charged with carrying out twisted sexual relationship with student. Now the thing is, the New York Post decided to use the word twisted in the headline here. It's actually kind of the least twisted one of these stories that I've read. This one is really not that bad. Um, I think every time I bring this up, every time I get a story like this, I've got to bring up the teacher who is making groups of like 13 and 14-year-old boys like have like group sex with her, like gangbang her, and she made them wear scream masks while they did it, and that's the worst one. That's actually twisted. That's like a 10. That's like the worst. This one is like, and a teacher who maybe, I don't know, like she puts her hand on a kid's shoulder and maybe lingers too long. That's a 1 for me, where it's like you probably wouldn't even report it. And this story, I'm gonna say it's like a 6. Let's at least, I mean, I glanced through it, but let's read it together. You'll see what I'm talking about. A disgraced Ohio school teacher copped to having a twisted, months-long sexual relationship with her 15-year-old student, whom she bombarded with thousands of lurid texts declaring her love. Now, it sounds kind of sweet so far. I mean, it's lurid because she's 28, but I mean, is she just saying that she loves him? And now, listen to this name, because you're not going to believe, you're going to think I'm making this name up. If you're just listening, I have the New York Post article on the screen. You can see what I'm reading too. I swear this is real. Not a fake name. This is a real article. Jamela Dabooby, a former teacher at Horizon Science Academy in Columbus, pleaded guilty to gross sexual imposition and unlawful sexual conduct with a minor in Franklin County Common Pleas Court last month, according to court documents obtained by WBNS. Now, you notice something here. This is gross sexual imposition and unlawful sexual conduct, which means she kind of didn't have sex with him, is what I get from that. Now, I don't know exactly, but that's what, like, reading between the lines there, like, that seems like, because it would be like unlawful sexual contact, I think, with a minor, if they were doing, like, she, like, gave him a blowjob or something. But I think it's not even that. I think she's just saying, like, I want you to make love to me, and, like, I love you and stuff, and being, like, weird. But there's a little more than that. Okay. The 28-year-old was arrested in April 2025 after the boy's aunt found the pair carrying out sickening sexual acts in her car. I don't think so. I don't think they were that sexual. Let's read on. Okay, listen to this paragraph right here. This paragraph, it's actually kind of cute, this paragraph. The 10th grader told police he and his teacher were in a relationship, locking lips, touching, and swapping thousands of text messages over the course of months. The Franklin County Prosecutor's Office said, locking lips and touching. So you can see this. Now, listen, she does need to be fired. She does need to spend a little time in prison, I think. A little bit. Not that much. A little bit. But you can see how this one is a 6, right? And this one might even, I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses for these women, but this one might even be a 5. You could even say this one's like a 4. I mean, I think it's a 5 because, like, it's like a 2, like, absolutely has to stop, and like a 3 is where, like, parents get involved, and a 4 is where police get involved. This is clearly over the line of where police get involved. This is a 4, 5, or 6 kind of range one. I'm gonna say this is a 6. But locking lips and touching, I mean, it doesn't sound that bad, does it? Investigators found the flood of disturbing texts on his phone, including messages where the two declared their love for each other. Not that disturbing, kind of endearing. Now, the New York Post sucks so much that they actually have misspelled the word disturbing here. Which I don't understand how that happens in the age of spell check. Right? Like how the New York Post supposedly they have writers and editors and everything goes through spell check. Nevertheless, we have a misspelled word here. At least, it's not AI. AI wouldn't misspell something like that. Dabooby was fired from her teaching position shortly after her arrest. Can you imagine you're 15 and Ms. Dabooby is your first kiss? Dabooby was fired from her teaching position shortly after her arrest and hit with 2 counts of sexual battery, which were later amended by authorities, prosecutors said. She faces 18 months behind bars when she is sentenced at an unknown date, the outlet reported. Okay, this is actually a case where I think that's about right. That's what I would say. She loses her job. She loses her teaching license. She can never teach again. She's always going to be labeled as this freak who did this thing, and she's in prison for 18 months. That's very sensible to me. That I completely agree with that. Completely agree. The court reportedly recommended the sicko serve 5 years of community control, continue counseling, surrender her teaching license, and perform community service. Dabooby will also be required to register as a sex offender. Okay, she looks like, I don't know if she's Indian or like Pakistani or something, but there is something in these. I don't want to be crass about these, I always treat these very seriously. I would never be crass about this kind of crime. But there is something that's really missing from these articles, which is I really need to know the race of there's always a photo of the woman, so you can tell what kind of person she is. I mean, genetically. But I really want to know the race of the teen boy as well every time, because I had a feeling with a lot of these, it seemed like it was always like a stupid white woman and like a black teen, like a pretty like physically a big black teen, and you're like, okay, like physically looks like a man. But then there's this kind of new crop of them where it's like an all white school and there's like gangbangs and the boys are like 13, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much farm equipment slave DNA they have in them. They're not fully grown at 13. And you do think like it's got to be white boys. Now this Pakistani lady or whatever she is, I don't know if it's a white boy. I don't know if it should be more or less time than if it's a black boy. I do feel like you might say this is a little eccentric. I do feel like if the boy was her same race, the punishment should be slightly harsher. Like if the boy was actually like, let's say she's Pakistani and it was a Pakistani boy she did this to, that's way more fucked up. And I think that she should get like 3 years in prison. If it's a white boy, the 18 months is appropriate. If it's black, no jail time. That's reasonable to me. You got to take into account many factors, I think. But anyway, that's just to get us started off. I might have to cut out these stories too, because I thought like I would. At the end of last year, I was going crazy with pedophile stories. I was like, I can't do pedophile stories every week, and I mentioned like I got to stop doing pedophile stories. And then one story, I remember this so clearly. I was doing a story and I hadn't fully read it, and I got halfway through and it became a pedophile story, and I found out it was like while I was recording. I was like, I got to avoid them. So for the most part, I do avoid them. But I thought, well, I throw in these. These are kind of pedophile stories, but not really, because it's the woman older and she's doing it to the teenage boys. But now it's almost too many of these. I feel like I am doing like 1 or 2 of these a week. these teachers fucking these teen boys. I don't know. I don't know. It does show that we're in kind of a sick culture because the only people who should be sexually attracted to teen boys are gay men. And it just makes no sense when it's like grown women attracted to them. Very odd, very odd. All right, I want to get into this retard clavicular who it's popular right now to shit on him because he just, he's a looks maxing guy and everything like that. To me, getting mad about like this clavicular guy, it's like it's like getting mad at like Elmo, or like getting mad at like the characters on like a soap opera or something. Like he's you can say he's doing a heightened version of himself, but like is he even doing that? Like isn't it completely fake? Like he's out there making money and doing this kind of character. It's and it is aimed at children. That's the thing about like guys like clavicular. Like you could say it's gross that they're aiming it at children, but they are aiming it at children. It's the same thing with like Andrew Tate. Like, were there grown men signing up for like Hustlers University with Andrew Tate? There was no way that you would be an adult with any kind of life experience and be an Andrew Tate. And well, Tate was actually pretty old. I think what's Tate? He was in his 30s when he got famous. Clavicular's like 21 or something. So people like to shit on him, and he says retarded things, and he's an idiot. But I've got this clip here. He's meeting his biggest supporter. It says this is on X. Clavicular meets his biggest supporter, who donated him over 2,000 subs, $10,000 on Kick. Okay, so let's listen to this.
What's going on, man?
And the guy. So this guy clavicular, if you don't know, he's like an extremely handsome young man. He's like as good looking as like a 21-year-old male could possibly look. He looks fantastic. Beautiful face, very fit and muscular, really cool hair. He looks good. And this guy who donated to him looks more like the kind of guys I knew when I lived in America. He's got glasses. He looks like shit. He's got a huge gap in his teeth. He looks, I don't know if it's a dog whistle to use this word. He looks dysgenic, you might say. And he's in this really shitty bedroom, and he's got about like, I'm going to say like 200 empty Pepsi cans in his bedroom. If you're just listening.
What can I help you with? You want to start looks maxing?
So he's given him 10,000 despite his like poverty, his obvious poverty. He's somehow given Clavicular $10,000. And so Clavicular has to say, do you want to start looks maxing? And he's so nervous. He's so clearly nervous. He just, yeah, that's all he could say.
Okay. Well, I would say that the best place to start would be with some sort of dental work, right? You've got a little, I can't really see from this far away, but if you want to show me a little bit closer, we're either looking at some sort of dental gap between your front teeth or a missing tooth. So you're gonna have to tell me.
So he's got this huge gap in his teeth, and Clavicular's like very politely saying this to him, and he's so shy on camera. He doesn't want to say anything. He's clearly like 18 or 20 or something. He's acting like a child when they're shy and they kind of don't say anything. And he just picked up while he was talking, he said, like, do you want to show me, like, you have a gap or a missing tooth maybe or something? While he was doing that, he picked up a Pepsi can and like showed the Pepsi label and then started drinking it. It's weird. It was really weird.
Which it is. Which is it? The first? Is it a missing tooth?
And now he's just like waving the Pepsi can around. And then he nodded.
Yeah.
He's like the weirdest little freak you've ever seen. It's so funny. He's like just weird. It's just a weird little bug man talking to clavicular.
Okay. All right. Well, fair enough. I appreciate you tuning in. So thanks, man. Hopefully you get that situated, and keep up with the looks maxing, my guy. Good stuff.
These are the celebrities now, by the way. This is the kind of celebrity that you get. I think people throughout the whole existence of like big celebrities, like international celebrities, everybody's probably always thinking like, shouldn't they be like closer to their fans? Like, shouldn't they have more of a relationship with them? And then you kind of realize, like, now with what's happened with like Twitch, you realize like, no, they shouldn't. Like, they should not be answerable to just any random trailer park guy who somehow has $10,000 should not be able to get looks maxing tips from somebody like that. I don't know. I thought it was funny. Maybe it's retarded. Let's go on. Some new news here. Oh, Chuck Norris died. I'm not going to talk about that very much, but I don't have a story ready. But Chuck Norris died. Very weird. Remember the Bowflex? I used to watch the Bowflex commercials more than like I used to watch Walker Texas Ranger actually, and then there was a spin-off of Walker Texas Ranger called Sons of Thunder, and I remember so clearly watching Walker with my brother and then watching the spin-off Sons of Thunder where two guys from Walker went and kicked ass somewhere else, like in the next town over from Walker. And I remember watching that show with my brother and watching both shows. And I could swear that I watched Sons of Thunder for like 2 years or something. And I looked it up on Wikipedia. There were like 4 episodes of Sons of Thunder made before it got canceled. So that's just totally a fake memory of mine. But I think I watched all 4. Quite an accomplishment. All right, let's go to Las Vegas here. KTNV.com. 5th grade students say Las Vegas teacher played knife tag, roasted students, and flipped desks. New documents are outlining the criminal allegations against a Las Vegas 5th grade teacher accused of child abuse and inappropriate contact with minors. 5th grade is very young. The Clark County School District's police department previously announced the arrest of Ka Nam Ngayon. Wow, what is up? Some ethnic groups are not integrating, okay? I mean, we've got 2 high school teachers here in a row who are not integrating. A teacher at Wing and Lily Fong Elementary School in the Northwest Valley on March 13th. According to arresting documents, the school opened an investigation into Nguyen. Is that how you say that? The Nguyen? I like when there's the last name, the Southeast Asian last name NG. I believe it's pronounced Ang. So is this Nguyen or something? I don't know. I'm saying Nguyen. After multiple yeah, I live in Asia, but not that part. I live in the white part of Asia, not the dark-skinned part. After multiple students reported inappropriate behavior, including the use of derogatory terms in reference to students, allegations of Nguyen, quote, crashing out and flipping over desks, and reports of games students were subjected to in class, including one referred to as knife tag. Now, the Pakistanis can't integrate because the women just try to fuck the cute white boys. And the Southeast Asians, I guess, they can't integrate because they want to play knife tag with everybody. I mean, you gotta you can't be a first generation public school teacher, I think, is the lesson. Like, you've got to really be integrated into the culture before you start trying to teach the white boys there. All right, let's keep going here. I think this is worth reading the whole thing. School district police interviewed at least a dozen of Ngayan students who made similar allegations of inappropriate behavior and acts that they said made them feel uncomfortable and scared, according to the arrest report obtained by Channel 13. According to the report, students claimed one game in Ngayan's class, knife tag, class, knife tag, involved Ngayan pulling a large cake knife out of his closet, holding it with a closed fist, and turning off the lights. School administrators who searched Ngayan's classroom told police they found a large serrated bread knife in a cabinet. Investigators were also told about a, quote, teddy bear game in which Ngayan would have students, predominantly female students, predominantly, that means not entirely, come to his desk. While seated at his desk, he would pretend to be distraught or cry and hug the students as a teddy bear to console himself, according to the report. One student told police it made them feel, quote, weird in a bad way. Now, it's predominantly female students he was calling over for the hugs, which means, like DeBooby, he was also getting hugs from white boys. Some children described Nguyen shipping students in the class, where he would gesture at different students and declare they were dating, the report states. Students told police Nguyen would also warn boys to be wary because girls were, quote, gold diggers, and some recalled Nguyen roasting students or referring to them as special ed when they answered questions incorrectly. I'm fine with all that. That's completely harmless. That's fine. That actually doesn't bother me at all. The teddy bear game, if you do the teddy bear game and one of your students later describes it as weird in a bad way, I think you did fuck up. Also, the knife game, it could just be funny. I could see why do I do this? Why do I read the worst thing ever and start defending the person and being like, well, this tiny aspect of it is actually not as bad as they say. I mean, this is your brain on this is what happens when you listen to like 1,000 hours of Glenn Beck when you were from like ages 11 to 13. This is what happens to you. You end up like this. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm going to do it anyway though. I'm going to defend the knife game. Because the knife game, it sounds like a joke, and I could see this not being a problem. If he's really just being like let's say the class they say something silly, and it's not the answer that he wanted. He's like, well, did anybody study for the test? And then the class just kind of like laughs because nobody studied for the test. And he, in like fake outrage, goes to his closet, picks out the big dramatic knife, and then shuts the lights off. And everybody's like, oh, and fifth grade is very young. You'd have some girls and stuff like scream or whatever like that. And then he turns the lights right back on. And then he's, that could be like a fine joke. The teddy bear game's too much though. Also, roasting students could be fine. If the students are actually retards, then it's fine. And Nguyen students also alleged he touched their faces and hair in ways that made them uncomfortable. In interviews with police, they described Nguyen placing his hand under the chin or ears for them to rest on. Students also claimed Nguyen would sometimes pretend to fall asleep at his desk, and that a student would have to hold his head up, the report states. In an interview with police, Nguyen stated he had been doing some of these acts for years and justified it as a way to entertain the students along with rapport building, the report states. He denied calling any students special ed. Look, I did call the fifth grade girls over to let me give them big hugs, and I did threaten everybody with a knife. I didn't call anybody retarded. That's bullshit. If they're making that part up. The school's principal told police administrators had previously responded to complaints about Nguyen, including an anonymous complaint about unprofessional statements towards students and separate complaints from staff members about unwanted advances and unwanted gifts. Yeah, if staff are getting unwanted advances, that's fucked up. Yeah, it's not as bad as Dabooby. Once again, East Asians are better integrated than Pakistanis or whatever the fuck. South Asians. All right, what are we going to talk about next? We still got a lot of shit. All right, let's go to the Hollywood Reporter now. Leaked audio reveals Rebel Wilson's PR team plotted to smear movie producer as sex trafficker. So Rebel Wilson, she's this big, fat, disgusting lady who, I guess she's British or Australian. I don't know. She's not American, but she was so fat and disgusting that they realized that she could probably be a celebrity in America, so they shipped her over here. And she was in these terrible, terrible, terrible movies, which I only know from trailers. Thankfully, I don't think I've ever watched a movie with her in it. But apparently, she made millions of dollars. Which is why you kind of hope. I won't finish that, but we have a war on. I can't say I hope anyway. I hope America wins, even with fat pieces of shit like this. But okay, I'm gonna just read here. Behind closed doors, Rebel Wilson's crisis public relations team discussed plans to create anonymous websites that accuse the producer of The Deb, I have no idea what The Deb is, of sex trafficking as part of an alleged smear campaign solicited by the actress. This is who these people are. This is what they do. They have some professional dispute about some show called The Deb, which, I mean, I get that, TV or movies, they're like, it's even the most commercial of them, it's still like an artistic endeavor. You're not making you're not painting the Sistine Chapel over here. It's nothing nobody's life should get ruined over The Deb. Right? Like, this is insane what they're doing. You have a professional dispute with your producer, and your plan is to make anonymous websites accusing them of being a sex trafficker. You know how crazy that is? And a recording obtained by the Hollywood Reporter, digital fixer Jed Wallace. What a title. Digital fixer. That's quite a title to give yourself. You're someone who makes fake criminal accusations. You make fake accusations about rape and kidnapping. And you call yourself a digital fixer. I'll fix your problem. That producer, I'm going to take him out. All right, instructed top entertainment publicist Melissa Nathan to assert without evidence that the producer, Amanda Ghost, is a madam whose work involves procuring young women for wealthy and powerful men. All right, so they actually have a recording here. Let's listen to it.
Oh, also, talked about Rebel. Like, here's the deal with Rebel, and I think you, me, and Brian, and maybe Katie, since she'll write this thing. What we have to do is the biggest piece here is that we have to connect Amanda Ghost with Vlotnik. And I was just like, so basically what we need to do is we need to create a path where we expose Amanda Ghost as like the new Heidi Fleiss. Like she masquerades as the reason why she sucks so bad at music is because she's actually getting hookers for Vlotnik, right? And that's what she does. She's an absolute madam, and that's why she's so lethal, blah, blah, blah. But he's right. Like, we can't just do like, oh, she's a bitch, she sucks. It's like, it's got to be really, really heavy and connected to something that heavy. So we'll talk about that tomorrow too.
I mean, isn't that fucked up? And the way they're talking about this, like, it's just, that sounds like every work meeting I've ever been in, where someone's just like, just running a meeting and talking about these everyday things. So we've got to, I don't know, what's got to happen is, about the rebel situation, we got to, we got to ruin this person's life. We can't just say she sucks. We've got to really, really accuse her of being a madam and sex trafficking girls. Anyway, so you'll be on that, Sally. You'll write that one, and then, like, just the banality of evil, as they call it. At one point in the private conversation, Wallace references the involvement of Hollywood power player Brian Friedman, Wilson's then counsel, in the plan. Okay, blah, 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 blah. I don't really care to get into the minutia of this. I mean, I hate Rebel Wilson. I'm sure I would hate Amanda Ghost as well. I hate everyone involved in this, but it does tell you, like, what an absolute snake pit it is, how disgusting these fucking people are. And then they're the same people who will come on and lecture the country about, some issue about immigration or something retarded like that. Let's see. I think we've got a related story here, don't we? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Speaking of human trafficking and providing women for people. Now, okay. So listen, I've been getting nonstop suggestions for. I'm totally in the sex passport bro algorithm, even though I'm not that at all. But Wizard Cat, you've been living in it. Shut up. And it's 100% Thailand. No, it's 95% Thailand and 5% the Philippines is what my my Facebook Instagram Reels recommendation thing is. So I've been in like a very Thailand algorithm of like these disgusting fat 60-year-old guys and these like legal teenage Thai ladies. It's just been filled with it, right? And what race do you think of besides Thai people themselves? But what not race, but what flavor of white people do you picture when you picture a really horrific, disgusting, fat 60 plus sexpat in Thailand? No respect for himself or anyone else, just absolutely abhorrent, horrific, disgusting individual. What do you think of? What flavor of white? What nationality do you think of, right? Because I don't even know why I think, well, kind of I do, but for me, what jumps out, it's Australian. I just think, and I know it's Americans, I know it's British, I know it's Canadians, but just something just jumps out to me. It's like Australian. That's like, it's the most Australian thing to do. I feel like, hit the divorce, go to Thailand, spend all your kids' inheritance on, these women in bars, just waddle around in sandals, being disgusting. Nobody who speaks English knows what you're saying because you're Australian. Just the worst people in the world. Now, you might say, Wizard Cat, that's so negative. That's such a negative way to view everything. It's not negative enough. I was so wrong about this, and I'm actually glad I was in the Thailand algorithm so that I could go down to the depths and I could go this deep and I could find this story here. This is a story about an Australian in Thailand, and it is so much darker than what I could have possibly ever imagined. Like, I would have never imagined. I do nothing but read these stories. What I've done, like 90 episodes now between the main podcast and the bonus episodes I do every week at burnpile.vip. Sign up for $5 a month. That's https://burnpile.vip. So I've got like 90 some episodes. I do however many episodes. It's a huge number of stories. I still find stuff where I'm shocked, where I had no idea this could possibly have gone on in the world. This is one of those. Okay. This is just some retard's blog. It's andrewdrummond.com is where I found this. Now, okay, I'm going to read this headline to you. Okay. Victim speaks out over, quote, black slave trade to Thailand. But will anybody listen? The Australian Connection 1. A black woman from Kenya appeals in vain to the Thai and Australian governments for their help. She was trafficked to Thailand, believing she had secured work in a beauty salon and spa. Instead, she was put on the streets in the Thai sex trade in Bangkok. In video statements below, she summarizes what happened to her. We're not going to watch the video. But anyway, so there's this guy. I'm going to summarize here. The guy who wrote this article is fucking retarded. But basically, she gave evidence to her plight. She was deported back to Nairobi. And then this guy who leads the group that kind of brought her into Thailand is an Australian named Douglas Shoebridge. Okay? So this is insane. This article, like I'm trying to summarize it without breaking my brain. I can't just read it because it's so insane. But basically, this Shoebridge guy, he's this youngish white guy. He looks like he's between 30 and 40. He's some kind of a Thai police informant and maybe an Australian police informant. But it's like a it's like a The Departed situation where he's like an informant, but he's also involved in crime, apparently. By the way, is this guy going to come kill me now that I'm like reading this eccentric article? Listen, Mr. Shoebridge, I actually love Australians, and I think this is really cool what you're doing. So don't come after me. The syndicate's Big Daddy, Shoebridge, is a controlled informant for a Thai police unit investigating foreign crime. And he was allowed to leave Thailand 3 months after a warrant was issued for his arrest. Now, this is what I mean. This enabled him to send an agent from Bangkok to Kenya to attempt to get this lady to withdraw her statements. They offered her $10,000 and she refused. $10,000. Couldn't you like buy Africa with that? Now this is what I mean by mind-blowing. This is what I never, ever, ever in like a million years, I would have never suspected anything like this was going on. My opinion of Australians is very low. I would never, what are they doing in Australia? I would name like every kind of nasty thing. And then I'd be like, and the really, really fucked up ones are probably trafficking drugs in there too. And, like, fuck those guys. Like, that's the really worst. No. They're doing the black slave trade. They're doing a black slave trade. It's unbelievable. They're getting black women from Africa as slaves in Thailand. I mean, that's crazy. Isn't that like next level? Would you have never thought that was happening? I just would have never thought. Also, there's no accounting for taste because wouldn't you say, I don't want to be disgusting here, but wouldn't you say that how can I word this? There are already a plenitude of sexual opportunities in Thailand. You're telling me you're going to import black female slaves? There's not enough Thai women to fuck. You're going to import black women slave. That's real. That's real, like, love of the game stuff. That's pretty cool. It kind of is like, you like when people have strong opinions in a way, when people have strong tastes, and just like, just like these Australian criminal white guys going through Thailand and like looking at all the like hot Asian pussy that's around, and they're like, where the fuck are the blacks? We've got, this place is pretty degenerate. You know what it could use? What if we imported blacks? What if we just brought, by the way, couldn't you, I would think if you have the ability to, spend a lot of time in Thailand, if you're retired or semi-retired or whatever, and you have that kind of Western paycheck or pension or whatever, couldn't you very easily, without enslaving anyone, couldn't you very easily find ways to pursue sexual adventures with African women? I mean, I would think it's not that hard. I mean, because you could have a relationship with any Thai girl. Obviously they're there to fuck whores, but they probably fuck whores and also have girlfriends. I would think you could do this with black African women without needing to resort to to enslaving them. I mean, but yeah, this one blew my mind, and I'm sorry I can't summarize the article any better. I mean, the long and short of it is there's corrupt Australians, or at least one of them, working with Thai organized crime and and tricking black women into coming, and human trafficking black women into time. I that's the important thing. There's this huge investigation, and there's this and that. I mean, like I said, it's Andrew-Drummond.com if you want to actually read the whole article. But it just blew my mind that that's what's going on. How could that be what's going on? I don't get it. I truly don't get that. I mean, it's a country that's just naturally filled with women who sell themselves into sexual slavery. And they're hot Asian women. You really have to have a particular type to be like, no, I'm putting an ad up in Kenya. I'm going to enslave some Kenyan women here. I mean, that's insane. All right. Let's go to Variety now. Val Kilmer resurrected by AI to star in As Deep as the Grave movie. First look. Ooh. 5 years prior to his death in 2025, Val Kilmer was cast as Father Fenton, a Catholic priest and Native American spiritualist in As Deep as the Grave. But Kilmer, who was battling throat cancer, was too sick to ever make it to set. He was the actor I wanted to play this role, says the film's writer and director, Cord Voorhees. It was very much designed around him. It drew on his Native American heritage and his ties to and love of the Southwest. I was looking at a call sheet the other day, and we had him ready to shoot. He was just going through a really, really tough time medically, and he couldn't do it. Even though he didn't shoot a single scene, Voorhees has been able to realize his vision of having Kilmer in the ensemble by using state-of-the-art generative AI. And he's done it with the cooperation of the late actor's estate and his daughter Mercedes. Voorhees says Kilmer's son, Jack, is also supportive. His family kept saying how important they thought the movie was, and that Val really wanted to be a part of this, says Cord Voorhees. He really thought it was important. An important story. Jesus, come on. Edit these a little bit, Variety. It was an important story that he wanted his name on. It was that support that gave me the confidence to say, okay, let's do this. Despite the fact that some might call it controversial, this is what Val wanted. Isn't it weird that the movie that's going to, the first like high profile movie that's going to do this, I mean, well, Star Wars did it for like a second, right? But the first like high profile movie that's going to actually have him like, have an AI starring, like be throughout the picture, is called As Deep as the Grave. And here's another really weird thing I was thinking about this. All these movie stars they're going to continue to have their careers, like all the ones we know now. And we're kind of at the end of the movie star. That's what they've been saying for like the past decade. There's kind of like there's DiCaprio, there's a few people who are in Marvel movies and are household names, but you'll notice that whenever they do another movie, that movie doesn't really do very well. So they're kind of stars, but they can't really sell tickets. So we're kind of at the end of the movie star, right? But what's weird is, so everybody who's a movie star now, but they'll keep having new stars. People will be in movies. That's not what I mean. But the big name brand movie stars. So they're going to get older. They're going to keep doing movies. They're going to die, and then I guess the rights to their likeness. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but that's going to be like something their family controls for a while, I suppose. But eventually, as decades go by, and maybe I won't see this in my lifetime, but AI movies, as is something I've said for a while, will be a thing eventually when people like learn the discipline to get good with them. And it's going to be like the same way, like, everybody having a computer in their bedroom led to like new kinds of music and distribution and stuff. Once people have the discipline, they'll make these movies. But don't you kind of think that like there's going to be the people who are into movies and want to do that, they're going to watch all these movies with like DiCaprio and everything. And, they're going to, and it's like the year, like, I don't know, 2115. And they're going to be like, okay, well, this movie I'm going to cast DiCaprio in my movie I'm making with AI. And don't you think, like, I've been thinking about this a lot. Like, we're going to have all these, like, as the time goes by, you're going to have like DiCaprio in like new movies, like 100 years from now. Like, there's going to be like a very limited low number of actors. It's going to be like, John Wayne and Clint Eastwood and like, just like maybe like a total of 50 people, we'll say, maybe 100 people who are really recognizable from films are just going to be in like the library of standard like AI actors who are going to be in like everybody's machine who wants to make a movie. And they're just kind of plug them in new roles and everything. Isn't that weird to think about? Like, we're all going to be dead and people are going to be watching new movies with these actors in them. I really do think that's coming. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but like the likeness rights aren't going to last forever, but people who are into movies are going to still watch those actors. I really think it's going to happen. And it's not falsifiable because I'm talking about things that'll happen long after I'm dead, so maybe I'm still right. Okay, a bunch of stuff I skipped before. Let's get into, BBC.com. US message board 4chan mocks £520,000 fine for UK online safety breaches. The UK online safety regulator Ofcom has fined the US messaging platform 4chan a total of £520,000 for failing to comply with various aspects of the Online Safety Act. It includes $450,000 for failing to put in age checks to prevent children from seeing pornography on the platform. However, a lawyer representing the company, which has previously said it won't pay such fines, has responded to the demand with an AI-generated cartoon image of a hamster. In a follow-up post on X, 4chan's lawyer Preston Byrne wrote, quote, "In the only country in which 4chan operates, the United States, it is breaking no law, and indeed its conduct is expressly protected by the First Amendment. The fines also include £50,000 for failing to assess the risk of illegal material being published, and a further $20,000 for failing to set out how it protects users from criminal content. 4chan has refused to pay all previous fines from Ofcom. Ofcom responded to the BBC's request for a reply to Byrne's posts with a statement from Suzanne Carter, its director of enforcement. Companies, wherever they're based, are not allowed to sell unsafe toys to children in the UK, and society has long protected youngsters from things like alcohol, smoking, and gambling. The digital world should be no different," she said. The UK is setting new standards for online safety. Age checks and risk assessments are cornerstones of our laws and will take robust enforcement actions against firms that fall short. She did not comment on the image 4chan had published in response to the fine. So they've got a cute AI generated hamster here. Yeah, this is really weird to me. I really do think American websites should just follow the American laws, and I really don't like. I really don't like this. I don't like this. I'm glad 4chan's actually fighting back and being normal about this. It's very weird. There's this boomer thing with the internet where they don't understand that, like, when you go out to a website, you're requesting information from that server, and it's that server sending the information to you. So if the website's in the United States and the server requests are going there, and he just said the United States is the only country in which 4chan operates, so I believe that the servers are probably all in the US. It's like, so her toy analogy, it's just such a boomer thing where they haven't actually thought things through. Also, argument from analogy is always wrong. Should never do it. It's a terrible way to do things. But like in that analogy, like, oh, we can't sell toys in the UK no matter where you are, unsafe toys. And it's like, yeah, to put them on the shelves in the UK for kids to buy, but for computers, it's like the UK kids hopping on a plane to America and buying unsafe toys in America and then hopping back on a plane to the UK. It's like, it's up to your customs officials to seize those toys. It's up to you to block 4chan, which would be great for 4chan to get rid of all the British people there, because they really are horrific. I don't know what it is. Everything British is bad. And all the countries that, stem from Britain, except for America, they all suck. Britain sucks. Australia sucks. New Zealand, Canada. These are all just kind of fake, disgusting places with weird varieties of white trash you didn't know existed, and they're both worse, but like less funny and less charismatic than the varieties of American white trash that there are. So it's really weird. It's really weird. I don't know why they exist. I wish they got into a war with Iran. Couldn't that happen? Wouldn't that be nice? That would be better, right? Okay. Well, anyway, let's hope 4chan beats. 4chan is run by a Japanese guy now. Gotta love the Japanese. Hopefully they win and they defeat the fucking retards at the BBC. Wizard Cat, BBC just wrote the article. What are you talking about? Well, that's it, everybody. I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Her man, use a button